give me just a second and allow me to share this video. And if you wouldn't mind sharing this as well, we want to get this information far and wide, out far and wide. I'm with a good friend tonight, Greg. Greg, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fantastic. Good to be here, Bill.
Awesome. So I'm going to share it on my personal page. Here's one. And then I'm going to share it in Dogs Chatting. I always like to share it there too. So, and Greg is a pretty big linchpin in the dog training industry because he is the president of a country. Not there yet.
That's a little country.
Getting there, slowly but surely, man. No, of a company that provides wonderful tools for dog trainers, and what those are electronic collars. And if you wouldn't mind giving a quick introduction, Greg.
Sure. Yeah, what we make are basically called e-collars, and we try to design a very reliable and humane product that provides a very soft and smooth kind of stimulation. That it's more of a communicative tool to the dog. As you know, the dog trainers are real good at getting the dog conditioned to the stimulation and the collars, and they're able to really allow the dog a lot of freedom with our collars. Typically, in a few weeks, the dog can be off leash with a pretty good degree of reliability. But it's a pretty good product, and we have a lot of happy customers and a lot of happy dogs.
Yeah, and I think e-collar, so if you want to check out his collar, ecollar.com is the website. And he's got a number of different models. Now, when I first heard about electronic collars, and I have an old book here, let me see. Like, here's one from Tritronics. Look at that sucker.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones.
Yeah, Totoro,
Yeah.
And this one, they were teaching a recall with a pretty hot recall.
Sure.
And the techniques have advanced quite a bit. People need to realize, as well as the technology, since the first time that I heard about these. And I have seen this equipment, this technology, literally save dogs' lives.
Absolutely, every day. We hear about it every single day.
Yeah, and what it gives the handler is, I don't know. I compare it to kind of like the technology today. I don't need an iPhone. I could just use a flip phone. That it still accomplishes the same, task of making a phone call. But I choose to have an iPhone because it allows me so much more capabilities. And same thing with this equipment. It's something that has many different settings, many different features. And that's what I love about your company, Greg, is you guys are open and you guys have got the best customer service that I have literally ever received. And that's I get a mushroom flying around in here. It's a wonderful time dealing with your company, but also I feel good when I can give my clients a product and feel secure to know that they're being taken care of as well.
Yes, yeah, it's very important to us to take care of the customers.
And this isn't your first company, huh?
No, I started Innotech. That's been about 28 years ago. I was 30 when I started Innotech.
Greg, when is the Nano going to be ready? The first question off the bat.
It's coming. But I'm going to have the prototype this week. It's actually not going to be the Nano. The Nano is going to come later this year. We're doing an interim, which is going to be, we're going to call it the micro collar, the RX-070. So it's going to be smaller than the present receiver, but it's not going to be as small as the Nano. But the good news about this one, it's going to work with all the existing transmitters. When we go to the Nano, we're going to a different frequency. a higher frequency, which is going to allow us to shrink the electronics and do some other innovations. So that's going to be a new receiver and a new transmitter, and they're going to work together only. So it's not going to, it's not going to work with the existing products. So everybody will have to buy a new system. But with the coming microcollar, you'll be able to just buy the receiver. It'll work with your, pair it up to your existing Mini or your Pro or your Easy.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And if anybody has any questions, please ask them in the comment section below. And if you are a dog professional with some e-collar stories, let me know, and maybe we can bring you on board, or get into that as well. So let's go back. You used to own what company? The
Inotech.
Inotech.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, how did you get into the industry?
Well, I was an electrical engineer, and
Okay.
actually a fellow engineer and myself, we thought we invented the remote training collars, but then we found out about Tritronics, and we thought, hey, this stuff is kind of big. We can make it a lot smaller. So we introduced a fairly small, a small receiver back then, and a very small remote. Our first remote was just a little door opener type of a remote, and so that's how I started. And then we got into containment systems and the bar collars. And
now, did you have a dog yourself? Is this something that I know
yeah,
that you?
initially I had a dog that was digging up my yard,
Okay.
and that's kind of what I wanted it for.
Well, I know that you go around, and we met at a couple IACP events, but also I know that you attend seminars of some top high-end trainers. Are you currently working dogs?
Nope, nope. I just got
Okay.
my own personal dog. But,
What kind of
yeah,
dog do you have?
German Shepherd.
Okay, cool. But you train up that dog pretty well.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's very well behaved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Except yesterday she tore up my house trying to get a chipmunk. But
Hi, gentlemen. I absolutely love my Mini Educator double dog remote. Excellent.
hey, hi Chrissy.
Yeah, people don't realize that what I love about this, and
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a problem dog to use this technology. I have every single one of my dogs trained on these remotes.
Mm-hmm.
It just provides that peace of mind when we're out and about, that my dogs can just enjoy the world and I still have a connection to them. One of the best things, the best descriptions I ever heard of the e-collar is, it's like a tap on the shoulder when your voice isn't working.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And it's such a unique sensation to the dog. I mean, even in some very distracted environments, you can always turn up the noise enough on an e-collar that you can get the dog's attention.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what people ask. Why don't you just make a vibration? And you do have a vibration model, but it's harder to turn up that intensity of the vibration to meet the stimulus that
Yeah,
the dog
yeah.
is
Well, we
experiencing.
have one with the variable vibration, but the vibration tends to scare the dogs more.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I mean it's more of like an
Yeah.
aversive after you train the dog with a low level stimulation. Where with the stimulation you can control that so well, you can make it from a little tickle to where you might need to have a little discomfort if the dog is getting ready to chase the mailman or something, and you need to get them back,
Yeah, absolutely.
when they're distracted. But yeah, the stimulation's just a lot better than the vibration. I mean, the advantage of the vibration is you don't have the contact points and the worry about the
Right.
sores or whatever can happen with the contact points. But it takes a lot more work to train a dog with a pager. The
Yeah,
paper
absolutely.
only. And they're not
Yeah.
the reliability because you know
Well, you can't, I mean, you can't turn it up. You can't turn it up to make it an aversive, show the dog consequences. And um, I have a couple questions here, Greg. I don't
Okay.
know anything about the Nano. Is it a smaller unit, less visible from Allison?
Yes, that's exactly. It's just basically the micro collar is going to be about 20 to 25% smaller than the existing Mini, and then the Nano is going to be another 20 to 25% shrinkage. So That's going to be a dog that be, I mean, a collar that can be used on any size dogs. So there's going to be really no limitation to size. But I tell you, we got a lot of people that put the minis. You know, we have some comfort adapters that bring the contact points a little closer. So we get some minis on some 3 pounders. So
Well, I mean, that's been the biggest thing is, what model do you use on the smaller dogs? And I can't wait because I have little dogs that are under 20 pounds.
sure.
And I just want something smaller, more compact to go with them. And I've been looking forward to the Nano myself.
Yeah.
So we have a comment here. Nope, my dogs are balanced with it. I rarely use it for corrections. Only communication off leash. That's right. I only rarely use it for correction. If you have to use this collar for primarily with corrections, I say go back to the drawing board and
Sure.
re-communicate to that dog. With a little bit, with some help, with some leash guidance. Not all dogs are going to get this. And I think Michael Ellis has a wonderful video about superstitious superstitious behavior. Have you seen that one?
Sure.
Yeah. And then only communication off leash unless they're chasing wildlife.
Exactly.
So we have another testimonial here. Allows my Weimaraner to run fast and come back. He's completely off the hinges. He'd be completely off the hinges without it.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. A lot of people don't realize that there's such a calming effect with these collars. You can put them on a dog that's just crazy, and all of a sudden it just like clears their head out, and that's almost like unexplainable in some cases. Where all of a sudden they become very clear-headed and starting to pay attention to you once they're fully conditioned with the collars. And these are dogs that before never even looked back at you. They were just gone in their own world, and now all of a sudden they're back checking you out and making sure everything's okay.
Yeah, and that gives you the peace of mind too. And they know when you're nervous or anxious about a situation, and if you can calm down, that's just going to help things that much more.
Absolutely.
JD Woofter says, "Good looking fellas." Thanks, buddy.
I need to work on my beard.
Yes, you do, man.
You got me beat on the beard.
Start drinking whiskey every morning. Wake up.
There you go.
So they are also off-leash therapy dogs. The residentials love them. The residents love them being in their natural form. Nobody even realizes they have them on. And let me tell you, when they're swimming in the ocean, that LED at night, the light. So each one of Greg's collars have a light that come on.
Yeah.
So like a headlight, and one of them, you could have it flash or it can go just solid. And so if you have multiple dogs, you can go look at a glance and see where they're at. That LED light at night is an added bonus. Love it. So let me see if I can share. I know I can share the desktop screen. I want to go to your website here and just kind of look through some of your products and just chat about them. And that's what I love about you, man, is that you guys are always innovating, but you are interested in real world feedback from trainers.
Absolutely. Yes.
Let's see here if I can share this screen. Application window, remote collar trainer, share. Sorry, you guys. I'm still talking out loud here.
They can go look at it later. You don't have to share it.
Well, it's right here. I got it.
Okay.
Yep. So there you go. So
look at you, man.
Yep. And so we can scroll through. And what I like about your collars too, man, is that you have, and we were talking about the sores. Sometimes the nickel coating will give sores. So they also have platinum points that you can get. We have
titanium.
Or titanium, excuse me.
Yeah, there's really two types of sores. You've got the pressure sores, or just dogs that have more sensitive skin, and those typically are where they just kind of lose the hair in the area. Yeah. And then you get the dogs that are sensitive to the nickel, and that's where you get more of a pinkish kind of a look to the skin. And then we like to switch them over to the titaniums if they are the comfort our comfort adapters are pretty popular, especially for like pit bulls and stuff. I really would recommend everybody get the comfort. They all go to the comfort adapters because it it takes care of both. They're hyper.
It,
They don't have nickel in them. Plus, you've got more surface area, so there's less pressure at any even given point on the dog's neck.
okay. And
Yeah,
doesn't it? It's not points, right? It's
yeah, they're smoother. Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So comfort adapter. So I have when I pick up my e-collars, my dogs will wake up from sleep to the sound and come running to me with their tails wagging
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
know they're about ready to have some fun.
Yeah, they're gonna go outside and get some off leash fun. Hmm.
It's just like when you pick up your leash, you know.
Yeah, it's very common.
So we've had boxers that are very sensitive and our comfort pads never had an issue, and they've been on there for a few years.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Beautiful. Well, and I think that people, you know, what are some testimonies that you have heard from people that you receive, you know, you said on
I
a
mean,
daily basis?
geez, we get just thousands of them. Not on a daily basis. We had a couple every day. I think one of them that I remember it was a few years ago, back when I was still working the phones all the time, and I had a lady call up from she was from California, and she had a Jack Russell, you know, which are very high energy type dogs, and she had been through a couple um, purely positive trainers, and they were against the e-collars, and really couldn't get her dog where she wanted to be because she lived on a farm. She was in a rural area, and she had an issue that right outside about 50 feet there was a cliff that went down into a ravine. It was just full of rattlesnakes and coyotes, and I mean bad stuff for the dog, very dangerous
Yeah,
for the dog. And then she had horses, and the dog would go after the horses and play in the horse poop and all that. And so she was kind of scared. So I talked to her. I said, "Hey, try it out. Put the collar on the dog, and give the dog a treat, and just kind of introduce the stimulation really calmly." And within 2 weeks, she called me back up, and she was crying. She said it was just unbelievable.
yeah,
Her dog now, before she couldn't go out at all with the dog. Now she can take the dog to town because now she
mm,
can and she says the dog jumped like 2, 3 feet high every time that she even looked at the e-collar that was hanging by the door.
yeah,
So she'd put the collar on, the dog would go out, didn't go down the ravine. She said it went down a couple times, and she hit the boost, didn't even hear a squeal because he was only working like at level 10.
yep,
And back then we had the boost at 20. So she hit the boost a couple times, and he come cruising up the hill and decided not to go down there. Quit messing with the dogs. I mean, with the horses. And basically, she could go out, tell the dog to go get in the truck, and the dog would jump in the truck. She could take the dog to town. I mean, just changed the whole lifestyle with the dog. Before, she couldn't even take the dog out without the dog running off, without being on a leash, trying to, mess with the dog on a leash. But that was one that called up crying later, so that kind of sticks in my mind. But we get a lot of people like that. I mean, all the different, not just the off leash control. I mean, we've had dogs that were that just weren't trained. It just needed some training, and that I hate to use the word aggressive, but they were aggressive toward maybe other dogs in the house or people, and they were able to change the mindset, with that clarity of an e-collar over time to work through that, and that basically saved the dog's life. But we've had dogs that would chase cars that were able to, get some of those bad unwanted behaviors under control that are almost impossible with other means.
yeah. Well, I mean, it gives you an ability to address the behavior right then and there, and not only that, but it also what was that? That me? I don't know if that's my wife's TV I can hear. But, oh, we got a comment. Nano number 1 is mine. You promised it, Greg. Irwin says. So just.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're right. Yep, I got you. Right.
I want number 2, man. Well, I want the first 2-dog unit. That's
well,
what I
I've
want.
got 2 of them, but they're not gonna, they're gonna be made in a lot, they're not gonna be good enough. Like, they're not gonna be waterproof. So
Okay.
once I approve those, we'll get the regular mold, and we're going to build 100 before we build the production. But
Just test
I've
them
already
out.
told my guys, I'm telling you, man, these are things that are going to be hot. We're going to have to make these
Yeah,
things.
I'm telling you, I'm doubling that, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
tell those guys, I
And,
want them now.
And
I
what's
mean,
interesting about this product is we made some advances with the transformer lately. So it looks like we might get up like 80% of the level of the existing Mini. So not only is it going to be good for small dogs, it's going to be used on a lot of big dogs where people just want a smaller receiver
right, just
and
hidden.
don't need, it's going to be a little bit shorter range because it's got a little smaller antenna,
Okay,
but it's still going to have several hundred yards of range. So
good.
I think it's going to be hot all around, not only for the really small dogs, but for the 30 to 40 pound dogs too.
Well, and even the bigger dogs that are e-collar trained that just need it, a
Yeah,
reminder or
yeah.
something, and I tell people whenever the first time that you stop your dog from chasing a car, the first time that you stop your dog from going after livestock, wildlife, whatever it is, from eating poisonous mushroom, whatever, that collar just paid for itself.
Absolutely. Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know, if you
one event can pay for itself.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, you have so many people here saying, Greg, thanks for a wonderful tool. That is my ultimate favorite. When I open my training business, I'm going to be ordering more from my clients. And I'm telling you, it's something that this is, this is a wonderful tool that I think is the future of dog training. But what happens is that people, they hear electronic collar and they automatically have a bad taste in their mouth. And what is the biggest complaint that you hear, Greg?
Um, I mean, the biggest thing I hear is the cheap Chinese imported units, and I mean, it's just they come in,
Those are
they're
trash, folks.
yeah, and they kind of hurt the dogs a little bit, and because the stimulation isn't very controlled.
So
Um,
why should people buy your product over that product?
well, I mean, our stimulation is very precise, and we calibrate every unit. Um, you're going to get repeatability with our units. Um, so, I mean,
Reliability.
that's reliability and repeatability. Repeatability with the stimulation. That's very important. But yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest complaint we get is the Chinese imports, but they come and it's actually helped our business a lot because it probably brought in a lot of people into the $30-40 market. But then they see the value of an e-collar, then they're like, okay, I need to get something that's going to be better. I can't be putting a
Yes.
$30 piece of equipment on my dog.
Piece of trash.
And yeah, and then so we get a lot of customers that call up and they're like, "Oh, wow, we're so glad. I don't know why we didn't buy this unit in the beginning." But a lot of them really don't know because they're not going through dog trainers. They're buying it off Amazon. That they think they can be a dog trainer. And
Right.
and most of our products we sell mostly to dog trainers. So people that get our products normally are being educated by an e-collar professional.
Yeah.
You
Well, and
know.
it takes some guidance because a lot of
Oh
this
yeah.
stuff is
Hmm.
counterintuitive when you're working with the dogs. Like I was very thankful. Robin McFarlane, I watched one of her seminars, and I learned a lot from her. And there's a lot of different techniques, but there's a big difference between avoidance training versus acceptance training.
Hmm.
And when these
Yep.
when these collars first came out, and during this time, it was all about avoidance training. And I think it's because we didn't have the precise technology that
Yeah,
allowed
the
us to.
stimulation was pretty high back then. They didn't have the controls to get down to that low level.
Yeah. And now things are different.
Hmm.
Now, the very first thing that I do with my clients that order an e-collar is I put it on them.
Yeah, that's good. Yes.
I make every single person, that is actually a prerequisite. Before we even put any equipment on this dog, I need you to wear it. I need you to be familiar with how it feels. And if you're not willing to do it on yourself, then why the heck would we be willing to do it to this animal? And I want people to feel it. I want them to be comfortable with it because once they feel it, and I mean, typically my clients are feeling it just above 20. I mean, some clients go all the way to 30. Some of them, my older clients,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
get up
But it's
there with
getting.
their,
I
and
know, they
I'm like
go.
nervous. I'm like, let me see that thing, and I'll test
Yeah,
it
is
there
it
a little.
working?
Yeah, totally. I'll
Yeah,
get the
yeah. I
light,
know what you mean.
I'm like, okay, hold it again.
Or,
And it's just that they're not feeling it. But,
you
and
get a
then,
carpenter that's got some
yeah.
calluses and really dry skin, and
And then they see that we're working the dog at 10 and under. and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I couldn't even feel it until 25."
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's the biggest thing. They're like, "Oh, wow." And that's, and you can see the aha moment. You're like, "Yeah, it's not, I don't want to hurt your dog. I
Nope.
love your dog. I love dogs.
Hmm.
That's why I traded my life to help people communicate with them. I see this as a very valuable tool, and I appreciate you that you trust me. And this is why I see it as a valuable tool. Uh, and I've seen, just like what you say, and what we have countless or comments coming up here about people that are saying, yes, my dogs love them. I mean, it's such a good tool that gives that dog freedom. Um, and Don Wolf says, "Can't wait to see you in Orlando, Greg. I want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
hear all about the cool things your company is up to these days." So
Fantastic.
shout out to Don. We got James Maturana from Australia in the house. We're
Oh
worldwide
yeah.
here.
Hey, James.
And yeah, there are different countries that are already, passing legislation on these collars that I think that they might be
Yeah.
spurned from um, just a misunderstanding of
Hmm.
this tool, right?
Exactly. Well, a lot of it, I'd go back to the Chinese imports. I mean, they flooded the markets, and every time I go up against one of these people, they're pulling out the cheap Chinese collar and
Yeah, I
saying this,
refuse.
and I'm like, that's not. People shouldn't be using that. This is not. That's not really an e-collar. That's more of a correction device. Where our
Torture
dog.
device.
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of see their point, but right now in the UK, we're trying to, do some kind of a compromise where maybe what they'll do is they regulate the equipment that comes in, and make it so that when the person's going to use an e-collar, they have to maybe go through a dog trainer, a professional trainer that shows them how to use it.
Yeah.
And I think that would benefit the dogs immensely too. I mean, if they're really concerned about the welfare of the dogs, I mean, that's more of a smart thing to do versus just banning the tool altogether, and it's really going to hurt a lot of dogs. I mean, there's there's a
Alex,
percentage of dogs that really benefit from these cows. I normally say like
it's
15
miss.
15%, and just they benefit so much that it changes their life that
Yeah.
it would be inhumane to you know to ban the collars.
Yeah, and people need to realize that it is a tool. And a lot of people, they rely too heavily on these collars too. Keep in
Yeah.
mind that
Hmm.
this collar is just a tool it can malfunction. We could lose the remote. We still need to have a reliable recall on our dog, and that goes through repetition and training. And
Absolutely.
just like with a long line or a leash, people get reliant on those tools, and those need to come off as well.
Hmm.
Alex Sussman says the layman usually has a tendency to think that the tool is a device that is only punitive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah. That's
do. You remember Bart Bellin's quote that he says about e-collars, Greg? Because Alex
um.
can't remember it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure which one he's talking about. I mean, Bart's got a lot of quotes.
Yeah, he's the
A lot of them are
man.
pretty funny too.
Yeah.
I'm sure this one's funny, but
He told me I needed to shave because I look like shit.
yeah, he's honest too.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him.
Yeah,
I would love to learn from him. Bart Bellin and Josh Moran, who is right here. That book rules. I
yeah.
was watching with us. We were talking. He just went and went over and studied with him in Belgium and drank some beer with him and said, "That's hilarious. My family asked to feel it. My brother said crank it up to 100, and I did. So whatever. I mean, that's. I mean, my
Well,
trainer.
I tell you, there's one thing about this product too, is when the stimulation is gone, there's no residual pain or discomfort. Whereas, I mean, if you give a dog a correction with any other method, there's some residual pain left from it.
Right.
Where this product, the beauty of it is this particular tool, when it's gone, it's gone. There's no residual, and and a dog that's conditioned to the low levels, once you start turning up the volume on them, it's not that uncomfortable for them, when they're properly conditioned. But yeah, you
Absolutely.
take it, you turn up high, and you put it on a dog. That's abuse.
Well, and that's that avoidance training. That's
Yeah, if you're trying to teach them from like poisonous snake, and I get that.
well, and even, I mean, that's all they knew when it was all about the higher stim. And what we would see is, like I was saying earlier, what Michael Ellis was talking about was superstitious behavior. The dog wouldn't necessarily, associate that correction with the boundary. They would associate it with a rhododendron bush or something weird.
Yeah,
And so then they would have a
whatever they saw at the time.
That's right. And so then
Yeah,
they
and
would
it's like,
walk by
man,
this bush, and then they would be, whoa, no, and then it would just create a whole other onset of problem behaviors when
yeah,
used incorrectly. And that's what's good about this acceptance training is that you're communicating to the dog while having fun, and you're working through what this means, what this feeling is, and this is coming from me, and this is good, and this means to pay attention to me, and when you do, you're going to get love, and it's just it's something that should be structured in a way that the dog accepts.
yes, that's a very
Uh,
good way to put it. Hmm.
Irwin says, I think it should go to the top 10 trainers to do a collaborative training CD to be included with every unit. It is a win for all. Trainers get free publicity. Folks get a good framework on how to properly use the tool.
Great idea. No,
Great
we've
idea.
got something now. Right now, we work with Ted,
Had
and
FDMitis.
yeah,
We
that's
had him.
we'll give out the website. It's ecollar101.com, and then the password is love your dog, all together,
Oh,
and
this is it.
that gets you a complete access of everything. Yeah,
This is,
ecollar101.com.
is that it's down right now. The server's down. The eCollar
What?
101 is. Yeah.
Let me take a look at that.
Maybe check it. But here, I can put that in the notes here. If somebody wants to type that in the comments, that would be awesome. eCollar 101. Here, I can put it right here.
It's working. I bet you didn't type it in right. Yeah.
Here, let me see.
Yeah. ecollar101.com.
Here, make sure that this is the right.
Yeah. And then you just go down the page and you'll say, click here to access the video series. Once you click that, that's when you'll be asked to put in the password.
What is the password again?
Love your dog.
Is it case sensitive at all?
No, it's all together. Just love your dog.
Love your dog comment. Okay, I put that in the comments here for anybody that wants to check that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we just password protected it for hacking reasons. I mean, but we're not, anybody can share it with anybody, and it's a free, resource. And we have the DVDs. If somebody wants a DVD, they can call us up, and we'll send you out a DVD.
Fantastic. And Ted at the Amitis has been on this live stream previously. We talked about dogs and kids,
Mm-hmm.
and check out that
Yeah,
broadcast
and
as well.
the videos he does are just outstanding quality.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's very detailed. I mean, this is a really good program.
Cool. Well, and there's nothing like, working with somebody in person too, where they can watch you and coach you through it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And do you have a resource? Do you that you provide a list of trainers or anything, Greg? I'm not sure.
We have a dealer locator right on the website. So you can go to the website, and then we've got probably 600-700 dealers in the website now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're getting ready to do a major upgrade on the website. So at that point, we're gonna try to add as many more as we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and folks, don't work
Or you
with
can
a
always
professional.
call us. Yeah, I mean, if you got a question, just give us a call. I mean, we still answer the phone. So.
Yes, they do.
Somebody said, "I'm glad you don't do a recording." I said, "There's never going to be a recording on as long as I'm involved." No, I hate getting a recording of pushing 1, 2, 3.
The phone tree.
Yeah, we got Amanda. She works the front area. Real nice girl.
Well, it's great to be able to call and just have, if you have a question, just to not be
Yes. Mm-hmm.
put on hold for 20, 30 minutes. So it's
Yeah, and like you said, there's so many companies that really don't have good customer service. People are almost afraid to call anymore because they think they're going to get put on hold or they're going to be mistreated somehow. And with us, just don't be afraid. Give us a call, and then we'll help you out. There's something really go past.
so my dogs are at a working level of 4 with comfort pads. These are the boxers. Since they're conditioned properly, they rarely go past 10. Plus, I was taught not to worry about the numbers. Using it properly changes in different situations. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, very true.
When I see people just looking, and I wish I was going to bring in one of my collars here, but there's a display screen on the collar, and a lot of people would just be studying that. I'm like, no, watch the dog, don't watch
exactly.
this. Pay attention to the dog and let the dog tell you. And then after the words, you might look at the collar and take note of where he was at in this busy or whatever was drawing his attention away. And then here we go, another. Is there a protocol to register as a trainer for business orders? We have Chrissy asking.
Yeah, Chrissy. Yeah, just go to our website and you'll see the dealer resources, and we've got a new dealer form. Just fill that out, and then we'll get hold of you.
Yep, and then I was wearing. I'll just show
there it is. Got freedom.
I wear my shirt, and then one of the best damn customer services anywhere. That was what I was just saying. Is these guys will take care of you, and that goes by itself. Is very valuable. Is being able to reach out, and even just being able to reach out to the president of the company and having
I'm available anytime.
It's appreciated, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody else have any questions for Greg? We have. I don't know if we have another. Nope, I thought I had a message for you there, but it's not. So people check out ecollar.com. And when is the mini going to be out?
The micro?
Excuse me.
Probably like 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks.
Okay.
Once I get it approved, I'm going to beat up on the guy that makes our molds pretty fast and see if I can get it done in 4 or 5 weeks. Because normally he's about 6 to 8 weeks, but I'm going to try to talk him into a little quicker turnaround in those first few hundred. But we're going to do as fast as we can, man. I know I've been telling people for 2 years.
Yeah. Dude, that was so funny that Erwin's like, first question, where's the Nano?
Oh yeah, and Erwin's been around for 2 years. So,
yeah, I have been too. I remember when I first heard about it. I've been harassing you too. But it is what it is in technology. I mean, there's so many things that go behind coming out with a new product, especially when it has to do with the patents and electronics and frequencies, all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Well, my old saying, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. It's not easy.
So we have a question here. You may have covered it, but is there a bark/ecology combo coming soon? What's that mean?
Probably next year.
What's a bark ecology?
Bark. It's a combination of a bark collar and a remote.
Oh,
what they're looking for. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that want to combine the two. And we just got our bark collar technology pretty much perfected here recently with our new bark collar. So it's definitely something. Probably I got a couple other products beforehand. So we'll get to that probably next year, and then I'll do a containment system and also a remote combination. So
beautiful. Well, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to say goodnight to Greg. I know that's later where he's at now, and thank you for joining us, Greg.
Sure, anytime. Yeah, let me know.
Okay, will do.
Let's do it again. It's fun.
We will, man. I'm going to see you at the ICP. I'm looking forward to it down in Florida this year. So.
Yeah. Me too.
You're going to be there?
Absolutely. Yep.
Cool.
John and I both will be there this year.
All right, man. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us on another live stream, and have a good evening.
All right. See you later. Good night.